What she said? She said, how can that car I know I was in the next moment, I'm on the outside as a what? Observer. Yeah. And she's watching. She could not figure that out. She said, I wasn't talking. You know, that's something you don't tell what? Yeah. Tell everybody. The first thing somebody think you're tripping. Right. Yeah. So really, once she met us, I said, no, you're not about experience. Yeah. And it's very common.
I've had one, by the way. I've had one.
It's very common. People have multiple. I have it many times, but I mean, it's very. I mean, you know, you do it. But most people, I say, everybody's had it, but most people have not had it constantly. Sometimes you go into what you call dream states, and you can pop out of here, and you just don't what? You don't remember it. See what I'm saying? A lot of things happen within this tabernacle. We'll talk about it, so we're going to talk about breathing. And finish that up. So we need to find it. I'll tell you what I want to end up in. Give me the 12th chapter of... okay, that's what we end up at. I think it's 1 Corinthians 12th chapter where Paul said, "Was the inner out of body? I do not know. I was living to the third heaven." So that's where I want to end up. So you can see then that basically what we're trying to show this evening is that how the tabernacle was correlated with this thing, with our physical body, and the altar of incense was correlated with the lungs. I'm going to spend some time showing you things that you need to do to, order, deep breathing, foods that you need to eat. You know, all these organs, are drawn from various minerals of the ground. And usually it's a lack of these minerals and things that we have. Usually vegetables and fruits that we don't have. People don't eat as a result. They have all types of respiratory problems and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's important to understand that your breath is like with the spirit and the deep breathing. What it means for you to seek intercession, deep intercession. Here in this society, we don't have places where retreats where people go out and meditate, go out and stuff like that, because everybody's too what? Wound up into the life system that we have, and it's designed that way. I'm gonna tell you, what article that I just gave me, and then I want to end up on that. The Tavistock article. You have people that are just, I just call them outright evil, and their whole design, their whole purpose is to undermine your very what? Your very being. And undermining your very being, you can be easily what? Manipulated. It's just on a spiritual level. Tavistock is a think tank. Yeah, with that. Just want to end with that, to show you how they totally undermine this thing.
Tavistock Institute developed the mass brainwashing techniques which were first used experimentally on American prisoners of war in Korea. Its experiments in crowd-controlled methods have been widely used on the American public. Surreptitious, but nevertheless outrageous assault on human freedom by modifying individual behavior through topical psychology. A German refugee, Kurt Likened,
Go ahead.
Became director of Tavistock in 1932. He came to the U.S. in 1933 as a refugee, the first of many infiltrators, and set up the Harvard Psychology Clinic, which originated the propaganda campaign to turn the American public against Germany and involve us in the World War II. In 1938, Roosevelt executed a secret agreement with Churchill. Tavistock Institute originated the mass civilian bombing raids carried out by Roosevelt in Churchill purely as a clinical experiment in mass terror, keeping records of the results as they watched the guinea pigs reacting under controlled laboratory conditions. All Tavistock and American Foundation techniques have a single goal: to break down the psychological strength of the individual and render him helpless to oppose the dictators of the world order. Any technique which helps to break down the family unit and the family inculcated principles of religion, honor, patriotism, and sexual behavior is used by the Tavistock scientists as a weapon of crowd control. The methods of Freudian psychotherapy induce permanent mental illness in those who undergo this treatment by destabilizing their character.
Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Destabilizing. So then you can see then basically what is done on a soft basis with the commercials, the movies, the entertainment, is to destabilize you. See, psychologically, to destabilize, some people can't tell you, you can see how white they are, you know, white people are, it's a destabilization process. And that's the reason why it says that everybody's trying to prevent you from uniting with what? Fear. And see, by deep meditation and prayer, you can overcome those obstacles and prevent those things from overwhelming you. Because they do overwhelm you. What I mean in closing, does everybody know what an anxiety attack is? Anxiety attack is something a lot of people can't handle it. And what they usually do is either go to drinking or they're on some type of what? Pharmaceutical what? Drug. And a lot of that is done psychologically, not having the basic psychological what? Makeup to begin to put those type of fears what? Behind them or bring them under subjection. Messiah said, whatever that, what he told us the apostles, he said that what that bind on earth is bound where? In heaven, up here. So that's powers within you that can bind those fears and not have them run rampant. People say, I'm afraid of getting laid off, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Fear that's run, and until you can get a hold of that, that's why we say, take a what? Take a deep breath and focus on that spirit within Yahweh. And a lot of times those things will quiet down and you can begin to get intercession and direction. Okay, read those things for me.
So this is 2 Corinthians 12:1. It is expedient for me, doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of Yahweh. I knew a man in the Messiah above 14 years ago. Whether in the body, I cannot tell, or whether out of the body, I cannot tell. Yahweh knoweth. Such a one caught up to the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in a body or out of the body, I cannot tell. Yahweh knoweth. He was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which is not lawful for a man to utter.
Okay, now what that means, people have actually in dreams, or people have meditated, and actually saw and heard things that they can't explain to you people down here when they come back to earth. Because basically they have been lifted up where? Out of the body, either in a mind revelation or taken to that place bodily, and have saw things. And that's one of the initial processes of calming the body. As Paul said, be still and know that I'm what? Yahweh, be still. Be still. Okay, yeah, I just want you to last the very least. Well, he said, I am the what? 11:25, just above that. But he's talking to Mary Martha.
Martha saith, I knew that he shall rise. Yahshua said, thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection of the last day.
Now she didn't realize she was already where? In the resurrection. The resurrection was standing right there before. And she talking about the last day. So I am the last day. I'm Alpha and what? Omega. I'm standing here before you. It just went right over her head. Okay, read.
Yahshua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Okay, that's what the lungs is. Though you were dead. I mean, you know, there's still the oxygen that is bringing about that water. Read what? A regeneration process that's necessary to regenerate this body minute by minute and second by second.